Welcome to another episode of the Big Mike and Little Ant Show, and we got a good one for you today. We are going to give a spoiler discussion on The Boys, the finale. So episode 8 of season 2. If you did not see this, this is your chance to stop listening. And also, if you didn't see this, maybe you want to check out our spoiler discussion for season 2, episodes 6 and 7, because that is out now as well. So thank you again for tuning in, and we're going to get right into it. So you ready for this, Mike?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it, man. Listen, man, this episode was great, by the way. I just want to say this.
Yes.
And it definitely was. It's a shame, but the last episode was the very best episode of the entire. I guess it's supposed to be that way, but it just felt like that it was so much better than some of the earlier episodes.
And this is what I was afraid of. Episode 6 and 7 was so good. I said, there's no way episode 8 could be the anchor and top it, right? The way it ended, where everybody heads popping or whatever, I was like, okay, there's no way they're going to surpass that. But indeed, they did. It was great.
Right, bro. And it was like so many things happened in the episode, and they tied up a lot of stories.
Yes.
I haven't started spoiling yet. I just want to give my whole overview, but I just thought that the way they tied it up was great. I thought that it was well directed, well shot, well acted, the whole nine. And I can also tell that the cast, you know, that's 2 seasons now. You can tell they're so good together. They play off each other well, and they spend a lot of time together at this point. And I like when a cast and a show kind of find their groove, where you can tell that at this point it's just like, you know, finishing sentences or whatever. So it's great. So that was my thought. What are your thoughts?
I will have to agree with you 100%. What's cool for me is when I like underdogs, right? So what I mean is, I felt no way. And I told you that this is going to be able to top the last episode. It's just not possible, right? Last episode left on a cliffhanger. It was so good. Where do you go from there? Had no clue the angles and stuff they threw in there. And it just made me say, whoa. So that's why this episode meant so much for me, because it exceeded my expectations.
Gosh. All right. Well, now we're going to start spoiling it, because there's so much happened in this episode, man. So let's go from the beginning. At the end of the pops, they're all just crazy upset, and they're like, we're gonna kill them all. We ain't worried about it no more. They're down there loading the guns up,
coming up with like technology. Oh, if we shoot this rocket with electricity on it, it'll destabilize Homelander. And it's like, wait, what? Like, they was like, look, this. So, and then Huey's like, so that's your plan, to kill all the Supes? Yeah, we're gonna kill them all. It's like, whoa, and this is like the first 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed or not, but did you see that Mother's Milk had a Snickers bar for Black Noir, and he had it sitting there too. He was ready as well, and stuff like that. So,
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, because they almost were like how Batman got all the plans for the Justice League. They had something for each and every suit.
Right.
And stuff like
and
that.
I noticed on our spoiler discussion from last time, we actually left out the fact of what happened to Black Noir. So you want to just mention it? Yeah, that was the one thing we left out.
Oh yeah, because he found Starlight and was attempting to kill her because of she was kind of wanted by them at the time.
Right.
And Maeve came in and saved Starlight by, of all things, using an almond joy. So apparently he's allergic to nuts. Apparently, a very bad nut allergy. And she left him there without be able to get his EpiPen and stuff like that.
Also, what's cool is they showed his mask get pull up, so you get to see kind of his face, a little bit of his face.
Yeah, that was black guy. Exactly.
Yeah,
which was good too. Which also changes his whole trajectory from the comics and whatnot. So it's gonna be crazy to see where it goes from here with him. In the comics, he winds up being a clone of Homelander and whatnot. With the mask on. So,
yeah, I didn't know that. And the way they made it seem in this show from left off, they made it like he was like paralyzed, or he just couldn't move or something. Like, they don't know if he's gonna be able to recover, is what they said. So,
yeah, well, in episode 8, they said he has some brain damage. They don't know what's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
So he's there. One thing I can say about this show is, only thing I don't want to say don't like, but I wish we did get like a better description of each person's powers.
Yes, I agree.
And yeah, and all their things that that hurt them and stuff like that.
Right.
Because sometimes things happen, and I'm like, wait, what? So it's like crazy. So,
right. But yeah, well, you know why? Because here's this thing that show does bad, right? They start off and it's imaginary world, right? If let's say you didn't read the comics, right? Imaginary world, people got superpowers, right? So how super are they? So some people seem like they could be killed with bullets, right? Then some people you could punch them and they fly through a wall and get up and run back. So like I didn't picture Starlight being the person that could take super hard hits, right? So she's getting beat up by like Stormfront. I'm like, yes. Yeah, he was hitting her over the head with like pieces of the wall. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she was that dense or strong. Okay, you could have fooled me. I thought a bullet would have put her down. You know, it seemed like she might be able to take a bullet.
Right. So yeah, you're right. Small, it don't really, you don't really know how powerful they really are and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing that because even after the whole thing with Black Noir, like she walked away. Remember, she ran about Huey like she was good.
Yeah.
He was beating her up down, whatever. So, but anyway,
that's small. But that's small on my list though of bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not that bad because when they get to the character, then they end up unveiling stuff eventually. Like you eventually see it, but yes, it would have been nice to know a little ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Give a little backstory or on their powers, on you know.
Yeah, at least their powers and stuff like that. Because I still don't know what Maeve's power is. She just strong? Like I don't know what she is exactly.
Well, they're trying to make her like a Wonder Woman. She's like the Wonder Woman knockoff. So I mean, Wonder Woman's strong. Wonder Woman a bus could crash and Wonder Woman wouldn't hurt her. I just look at it like
Wonder
that.
Woman also got super speed. Wonder Woman, got her lasso, all types of stuff, whatever like that. And all Maeve do is be strong.
Yeah, lasso is like additional equipment.
It's extra, but, I know. But I'm just saying, like Wonder Woman's super fast too. You know what I mean? So I don't really know about me.
Do you want me to tell you the one thing I don't like?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's do it.
My one thing.
Season finale, spoiler discussion. We'll put it all out there. Go ahead.
My one thing that's burning me up, and I don't know if they intended this from the beginning. But I do not like where Stormfront's character started and where it went. She was like the toughest, trash talking, like her. I feel like she has two different characters. Who she was and who she is now is just not the same person. It bothers me. Like,
all right, we'll get to Stormfront there. We'll hold off.
Okay.
All right. But I'll remember that it bothers you. All right. So. After they do that, Huey and Starlight say, "Well, just give us 24 hours. We'll figure something out where we don't have to kill them all." Starlight didn't really believe it, apparently, but she was going along for Huey and whatnot because she kind of wanted to kill them all as well. And then they go to Maeve, who's still distraught about her girlfriend and everything like that, to try to get her to help them out. And she says no, kicks them out and stuff like that. Meanwhile, back at the basement, Becca somehow escaped military people on her own, which kind of bothered me there. But she finds Butcher. How you feel about that?
She comes to the underground porn shop or the porn shop. She comes to the base. That's pawn shop. Sorry.
Right. Not porn shop. That's what you do in your spare time. Not porn shop. But and that's weird too. It's New York City, and she's like, he told me he was at a pawn shop. I'm like, yo, there's like 1,000 pawn shops.
1,000.
Yeah, so that was a little weird too. That she finds the correct pawn shop. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah, that was a little bad writing. But listen, it's the season finale. We got to get to it. So.
Yeah, I understand. All right, so she finds him, telling him that he took Ryan, which is her son, and stuff like that, and he agrees to help her, to get him back, and they're all happy they finally meet Becca. There was some funny scenes, by the way, where they were all excited.
That was awesome.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome too. And then I guess they cut. Well, he leaves and said, "I'm figured out," and then back with Huey and Starlight. Well, no, before Huey and Starlight, we see what's his name? Edgar. Edgar. Yeah. He's meeting with the church guy, and they're talking about bringing back A-Train and bringing back people in the 7th. But he said no to A-Train at first because Starlight don't like black people, basically, and whatnot.
Stormfront.
Stormfront, I'm sorry, Stormfront, like black people. She's gonna bring back the Deep, but not A-Train. Now, did you notice when he came by and the napkin moved when the waiter was bringing the fresca and stuff in the show? So in the show, so when they were in the inside the little dining room, Edgar and the church guy talking about bringing back A-Train of the Deep, and the waiter's bringing the fresca. At one point, you see the napkin move like real fast because he went past the waiter and went in the bathroom. And when the napkin moved, I noticed it. I was like, "Oh, that's A-Train." And then he came out of the bathroom and stuff like that. He heard no conversation.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. But that's just, I like that, the subtleness of the show to show that part. They could have had him in the bathroom the whole time, but they showed the napkin flutter to see that he ran past the waiter and stuff like that. So I do like that. And then he figures out, that okay, he got something for them. Apparently, he steals their records. And how you like when he popped up on Huey and Starlight?
Yeah, so he was in the back seat. They're driving, and he's in the back seat, and he just popped up. They're like, they pull over to get out the car, and he's like, "Yo, you can't run nowhere." She's like, "Well, with your bad heart, you might not be able to catch me." He's like, "Listen, let's make this even." And then, he pulls out the documents, and how crazy is showing that Stormfront was a Nazi, and and again, he's taking it personal because they won't allow him to be on the team because Stormfront won't allow him because he's black. It's like, yeah.
Right. And I like that twist too. Now, he said that he canvassed the city in 3 hours just looking for them and whatnot because he's so fast. And I'm like, that's interesting because, I never thought about that because you never see that with, the Flash or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Just say, I'm going to go looking or whatever like that. So it's interesting that he could do that and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting writing as well. But anyway, they bring the documents back to the base to them. But Butcher, in the meanwhile, he meets with Edgar as well, and he says that they got a plan to to get Homelander, and they're trying to get Becca's son back. But Butcher cutting the side deal and say, "Nah, you keep the son. I'm leaving with my wife," or whatever like that.
Yeah, the double cross of double cross. So he's planning on double crossing his wife. Because at the end of the day, he just wants his wife and he don't want to have nothing to do with Homelander's son. Let's be clear. So he make the backdoor deal that, listen, you guys just take the kid and I'm going to be with her. They're like, wait, what? There's like, listen, a mother would do anything for their kid, even if it means to not be with their kid to save their kid. So he's scheming, thinking he's going to be able to get rid of the son and get to have her all to itself, and it's going to make everything perfect.
Yeah, and what did you think? What did you think at that moment when that plan came out? When he said that?
I mean, here's my thing. This guy, for all these years, been trying to find her, and for all these years, so he's trying to find her, and he got to the point where he thought she was dead, so he wanted to get revenge, right? So for all these years, on his mind was killing Homelander, right? So he finally get a chance to get his wife, and then his wife has Homelander's son. So I'm sorry, but it just makes sense that he was so committed. Like, no, man, I can't look at this kid every day and look at my wife every day. Like, we ain't doing this. Like, I need to have just her. And in the end, he figured out a plan to have just her.
Right. Now, did you think it was going to work at that moment?
Part of me felt, like maybe they could pull this off and he get to have her, because he went through so much, and maybe they'll save the kid for later on. So part of me thought like maybe. Now I didn't think what was going to happen, and I'm going to get to it because you and I on the last episode we figured, okay, one person's going to die. Who will it be? And we both had, Yes. And we both was wrong, but
right. We were.
But it was a point where I was like, oh my God, Mike is right. And I know you probably was watching like, oh, I think he's right. Your thing looked like it was more going to be right than me though. But yeah.
Right. I know that would have been a good call if that would have happened, but whatever.
It would have been a good call. Yeah, because even me, when Sandy was watching it, she was like, yeah, I think Mike's right. I'm like, damn, Mike called it. So to fill you guys in, I said I thought Frenchie was going to die. I said I feel like the way they do shows, season finale, they're going to kill a prominent character. So I said I think Frenchie. And Mike said
Kimiko.
Kimiko,
that's
right?
Yeah, Kimiko.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you said Kimiko.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you see the season finale, hopefully you watched it or you watching it through us. It looked like Kimiko was about to get killed. Matter of fact, you thought she got killed.
I think
Stormfront snapped her neck. Stormfront snapped her neck.
And she snapped it back. So that's what I mean though, about my earlier point about the powers. Like,
right.
So Kimiko could just not die. Like, I'm so confused about who can, have what and whatnot. Because she snapped her neck, but then she snapped it back. So I'm like, what the hell? So and I don't even know Kimiko's whole powers, by the way. That's another thing, but that's not the end of there. But unless you figured it out. But I'm just like, is she just strong too? Like, is everybody strong?
Yeah. Right. Superhuman strength. Everybody got it. That's it.
Everybody got it. Like, our regular Marvel DC, like, everybody not super strong. Like, it kind of varies or something like that, or whatever like that. It seems like in this show, everybody's got super strength.
Right. If you got superpowers, you got super strength. It just goes with
it goes with the territory. All right. So anyway, he makes the deal, goes back to the basement of the pawn shop. Starlight and Huey tell them about the whole what they found on Stormfront. They find out where Homelander at. Frenchie makes a little plan to go out there.
Yep.
So it's all come together. Meanwhile, let's go backwards. Homelander is with his son at the Vault Tower, and Ryan's not happy. He's trying to miss his mom. Regret his decision to leave his mom. Right. They try to take him down to the little vault.
It's like Disney World, pretty much. Yeah, it's like Disney World, but for the vault, like the 70s and all that.
Yeah. Vaultland. That's what it's called. So they take him down there, but I don't know why they think this would happen. Like they take him down there, and all the people want pictures and autographs with Stormfront and Homelander, and the kids getting overwhelmed. I don't know what they thought was going to happen without any,
Like, he clearly said he was living in like a fake world. He didn't have neighbors, no nothing, right? So all of a sudden, now he's taken to the regular world. Like, how do you expect him to adjust like that,
Right. But Stormfront seemed like she don't really like the fact that he not adjusted fast enough. And then one thing I will say, I want to back up. I do think for all the shit we give Homelander, he was trying to be a good dad. I will.
He really was. Yeah, he really was.
Yeah. And he took his son out of there and flew him away. Like, know what? This ain't for us. Whatever like that. So
as much as he loved attention, he was like, listen, no, guys, back up. He started taking all these pictures. People, can I get a selfie? This and that. And he kind of left his son sitting there by himself. And his son started holding in his ears. It was like, he can't take it. And I thought at that point, his son was about to zap somebody. I was like, oh, this is about to go down. But then Homelander was like, listen, we got to go. Grabs his son and fly off.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. I thought that was good too, man. And he goes to his little hidden cabin. Now, I don't know how Stormfront found the cabin. Maybe she knew it was that already, but she shows up too, or whatever like that. So she gets there, and then she just becomes like, everything comes out of her, like all her racism thoughts, white supremacy thoughts, and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And there was even parts where she was talking to Ryan about this, and Homelander was like,
Homelander was like, hold on, whoa, I'm telling my son that.
Right. It's crazy, stuff like that. But I did think the talk that Homelander had before that with Ryan was really good too. Telling him how they kind of, he grew up with the doctors and stuff like that. Right.
He was like, when I get upset, I want to just run away. He was like, sometimes maybe you just want to, well, he said fly away. So sometimes he said, maybe you want to fly away with me. It was cool.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was cool. For sure, definitely. Meanwhile, back in the basement, they're gearing up. Becca's helping them load the guns and stuff like that, and they're like ready to go.
And she and the thing is, she made it clear that she wanted to go because he was going to tell her you can't come. Well, Butcher said you can't come. She's like, no, my son is involved. I'm coming. You're not doing this without me. So he agreed. Okay, fine. I'm taking you with me.
Right, but I think her not coming was a part of his plan at first, stuff like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So anyway, they go and they go to execute their plan. But I gotta back all the way up. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the show, we see kind of the fallout from how this whole thing happened was the fallout from the heads popping, where they were going to let Compound V be used for everybody, at least for the police, stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Which would have been crazy, apparently. So
yeah, they would just give regular law enforcement, just everybody would have been using Compound V.
Yeah. And the part about it, like that, we know, but I feel like they don't see, like, if a cop has Compound V and then a suit has, of course, Compound V, how much collateral damage you gonna see? People dying just around the fights and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really think about that, you know what I mean, in this regard. So, so anyway, they go and their plan's working out. They get there, they let the sound off or whatever. First they release the documents on Stormfront on the news. So Stormfront flies away, back to Vought, stuff like that. Then they let the sound they let the sound off, affect Homelander.
So they come up with this thing as like maybe like 50 speakers, right? And they all sound off at the same time. So what they do is to make this loud sound where Homelander could hear it. It bothers his ears too, so he fly off to go find it. But it was pretty much to get him to get away from Ryan. So they get their plan to get Stormfront away, because she goes to check, what's going on with her in the media, showing that she was originally married to Vought, the original guy, and she's also a Nazi, right? And then it show people online making little memes about her being a Nazi, whatever, right? So she fly away. They make the sound thing go off after they watch her fly away. Like, okay, cool, she's gone. Hit the sound. They hit the sound. Homelander's like, oh, his ears. Then Ryan's hurting his ears. Homelander fly out, land, laser beam all of the speakers, blow it up, and he's looking around like, what the hell? Like, he doesn't realize somebody just got him to leave his son alone. So they run into the cabin, and they're like, come on, and this is Butcher and his mom. Come on, you're gonna come with me. Now, soldiers show up, because now you gotta explain this for me. This is where I need some clarity. So he made a deal with Edgar, right? So remember, Edgar was the one that told him where Homelander was gonna be at. So that's how they even knew where Homelander was gonna be at. So he made a deal with Edgar that Edgar sent his people to actually get Ryan out of there. So they get away, and then Homelander comes back, and the guys just show up, and Homelander walks in the door. So the regular troops are there, and the guy, because what happened? I guess they changed plans. Like Butcher realized, you know what? We're not going to do the regular plan. I was going to be screw you over and let your son go somewhere else and you not be with him, but I want you to be with him. So let's change plans. Come with me. We need to get out of here. So when the guys showed up, the military guys, they was technically supposed to be working with Butcher, but they show up and Butcher wasn't there, and Ryan wasn't there either. So then Homelander lands and shows up, and he just brutally kills them. Now they don't really show it, but he showed them laser beam the one guy in half. But after he's killing them or whatever, he walks out the door and he's covered with blood. So you know it was a blood bath. But go ahead.
Yeah. So what happened was when he made a deal with Edgar, he said have him follow the signal at his phone, just they'll know when to come. He left the phone in the cabin but took Ryan out. So they came to the cabin thinking he was still there because the phone was still there, but he left the phone in there. And they were looking for him. And then by the time they figured out he wasn't there, Homelander shows up. Now, my thing about that is that Homelander, they had on Vought, stuff or whatever like that. So my thing is that Homelander should question, why are Vought guys here calling for Butcher and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So that's the part that really got me.
I thought that's what his thing was. He landed, he heard him when he walked in the door, and he was like, so I think that was I took it as that. Like, he was like, yo, what the hell? Like, what are y'all doing here? And then he was like, what did you just say? Because he heard him say Butcher. He was like, you just said Butcher.
I know, but he never. But after that, I'm saying, he go question Edgar? Like, why are your Vought guys here helping Butcher or whatever?
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, we didn't get that
how the hell Butcher got Vought guys here?
Right.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was question, like, how the hell Butcher get Vought guys? Like, got to be something you did and whatnot. But anyway, so yeah, he winds up killing them all, like you said earlier, and stuff like that. And those guys cracked me up, just to go back. I know you already talked about it, but just to go back, because I'm like, yo, y'all all just standing there with guns. Like, it's really gonna help y'all at this point. And y'all ain't even shooting them. So at least shoot them if you're gonna just hold them and whatnot. Because either way, at this point. So I feel like that was crazy. But anyway, but I guess maybe it's instinct, even though he's a suit, like just hold the gun, even though it's not really gonna do nothing to him.
Maybe when the scene changed and cut back to them, they tried to shoot him and failed the attempt. Yeah.
Obviously. So anyway, they do have Ryan, like you said. They take him off. Butcher admits that he was going to play her, play her or whatever like that, and go the other way. She still don't care. She wants them to be together. But he tells her to go with Mother's Milk, MM, and that they'll hold off anybody that comes and stuff like that. The scene was so dope, man. It was so well shot. You see Becca and Ryan and MM leaving, and Butcher like looking away, and before you can snap your fingers, Stormfront was there, grabbed the car with her electric and threw the car.
Yeah, and throw the car. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was dope, man. And then you see Stormfront. Now, I'm a little mad that Becca and MM like walked away like nothing happened, by the way. But that's whatever. That happens. So, because they're not super. Maybe Ryan, but I don't know how the hell they walked away like that.
Right.
Then Butcher, simultaneously you see Butcher running after the car through the back of the tunnel, and then you got Huey, Starlight, and Frenchie going after.
Okay, go ahead. Do it slow. So the coolest thing. So I love when it's like, how are you gonna beat this person? And then all of a sudden the thing happens. So you got Stormfront, which is super powerful, and you got these regular humans, and you got Starlight, right? So Starlight is trying to take her on, and it's not happening.
Well, I didn't get to that part yet. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
Oh, all right, cool. Slow. So you got Huey, Starlight, and Frenchie, and Kimiko walking towards Stormfront. You get a banter between Starlight and Stormfront, and then Kimiko does her sign language to Frenchie, and lets Stormfront know like she about to kill her and whatnot. So I didn't get to that part. So I get to that part yet. Then, as Stormfront is about to throw her electricity at Kimiko, Starlight pops her with her light and stuff like that. So, like you said, Starlight is trying to take out Stormfront and Kimiko. They both are and stuff like that. Now they get some great shots in, and I was pretty impressed by Starlight. To be honest with you,
I was, yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely. And then but her electricity, does what it does and stuff like that.
Does what it does. They can't beat her.
They can't beat her.
And then
wait.
Okay. I'm sorry.
They can't beat her, but to the point where she actually does break Kimiko's neck. And stuff.
Right.
And then at that point, you see Frenchie and Huey and them shooting her, but of course nothing's happening there. And as she's about to walk over to them, there you go. Here's your part. And then
Queen Maeve shows up and joins the fight against Stormfront. And you're like, well, for now you're like, oh, she's powerful too. So now you feel like, oh, now we playing with a full deck, or we at least got an ace up our sleeve.
Yes. So then Queen Maeve shows up, Starlight gets up, Kimiko unbreaks her neck. Right, she gets up, and now they're just chipping her. They're like,
Oh man, it was like the coolest beatdown, and it was all girls. I mean, they're kicking her on the ground, stopping her, punching her. I mean, it was just like it was that really exhilarating, like really like them getting their revenge. Like you felt like yes.
Yeah, and it's funny because at one point they cut to the guys, and they're all watching like. Like,
hey, what we gonna do?
Right, because they all had no powers and stuff like that. Right. So they're just sitting there. So it was kind of a role reversal right there if you look at it. But she's able to use her lightning to get away and stuff like that.
So she flies. She flies away.
Flies away and catches up to Butcher, who had already left with Becca and Ryan on feet, and she catches up to them. And she, Butcher has no match for her, obviously, at that point, and whatnot. And then she goes to try to kill Becca, and that's Ryan's mom. And I'll let you say what happens next.
So she grabs Becca up by one hand. I mean, and she's choking the life out of her. And she's, talking how like, you're about to die, this and that. And Ryan's sitting there like, let my mom go, get off of my mom. And they're slowly like zooming in on him and his anger and his rage. And his eyes light up and it's just a big, bright light. They don't let you see a blast. They don't know if he blew up. And all of a sudden it seemed like time went by and it pans the Butcher holding his head like you don't even know how long he's been out. But he gets up and the first thing you see is, man, Stormfront is like, she's missing her arms, her legs, and half her face is like charred. And you're like, whoa. And
then they go to Becca, who apparently when he shot Stormfront, he also got his mom, and she's bleeding out from the neck and stuff like that. And before she died, because she did die, she told Butcher to promise me that you'll watch over Ryan and make sure that he's safe and stuff like that. At that point, Butcher though is at that moment, I think he's still trying to do something to Ryan or whatever.
Dude, when he grabbed that crowbar.
Yeah.
I thought he started looking at Ryan. I was like, oh, he's about to swing on Ryan. Ryan's like, I'm sorry. And then Homelander lands.
He looks at his girlfriend, Stormfront, who's all charred up and stuff like that, who's speaking German gibberish right now or whatever, which they translate later on, but was speaking German. And then asked Ryan, did he do this? And he was like, I'm sorry. But Homelander knew he did it because he had the same power as him.
Right.
And then he sees Becca dead, and he's like, well, come on, Ryan. And Butcher will let him have him. So Homelander like, look, are you willing to kill yourself for this kid who killed your wife and whatnot? And Homelander and Butcher's like, I promise. And then Homelander's about to give him the whole eye treatment, and then Maeve shows up again.
Yeah. Now, this did annoy me a little bit. Reason being, Maeve shows up, pull out the phone and say, listen, I will show this video. And if you guys seen the show earlier on in the season, was this even in season 1, right?
Season 1 happened, yeah.
Season 1, there's a video of them going to save people on a plane. And the plane is going down and they decide, you know what, we're out. We can't save everybody. And one guy is like, please take my daughter. And Homelander's like, yo, get out of here. Let's bounce. And he's like, yo, let's at least save her. He was like, what? And then she's going to tell everybody, we let everybody else die. And so Maeve is like, she didn't want to, and she flies out. And again, to back up a little bit, that's why Maeve's girlfriend decided to not be with her anymore, because she sees the video. And she's like, I can't be with you. So fast forward back, she pulls out the video and say, Homelander, if you kill them, I'm going to show this to everybody. All the people who loves you, no one's going to love you anymore. And the crazy thing is, that's how much of a narcissist he is, that he decides, I'm going to let Butcher, of all people that he hate, take my son because I don't want her to show this video, because I don't want the world to hate me. He needs love that much. He needs to be praised that much.
He'd rather have the love of the people than love of his son, that much. Because even if the world hated him, he could have went off somewhere secluded with his son and raised him. But that's not good enough for him. He needs the love of everybody and stuff like that.
Everybody, yeah. Now, here's what's crazy. The only thing I just want to say, Maeve, you could have, listen, if that's all it took, you could have did this in season 1, man. I was thinking about, I didn't think of it at the time. I was just like, oh my God, how are they going to stop him? I was like, that was perfect. And after the show ended, maybe a day later, I was just like, hold on, wait, we don't have this video for how long? And that's all it took?
Right. Crazy, yeah.
Because I thought earlier in the season, at some point, she showed it to him, right, in the trailer.
Yeah. No, not to him. It was her girlfriend that seen it and stuff like that.
Okay. No, but I thought she showed it to somebody and was like, I thought earlier when I thought at some point she was like, oh, I could release this or something and didn't.
It wasn't him. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen it. I don't know who it was.
Somebody.
Right though. But yeah, she could have been did that. Because not only does it make him not kill Butcher and let Butcher take the sun. But now he like brings Starlight back into the 7, let her wear her own uniform, let Starlight and Maeve like do what they want to. Like he's like under there, like
yeah, because right so we'll break it down. Is after that scene, they end up having like a big thing on the news where they pretty much twisted and made it that Stormfront was the bad person all along because they had to blame somebody. So Stormfront was because remember somebody was popping the heads, right? So they switched it. Stormfront was the bad person. It was all her plan. They blamed everything on her. She was a German, and now, like you said, Stormfront's back. Starlight's back in the 7. A-Train's back in the 7. Like everything's all cool now, though. It showed the Deep really pissed off. So I wonder what he's gonna do because he was told he couldn't be in the 7, and he was like, "What? They chose him and not me." It was like, "Yeah, one person is how they say again? If they bring back one
person is the a redemption story. The other one is weak or something like that."
Yes, yeah.
Like, one is redemption, 2 is weakness. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah. So, which he stole that line from Edgar, by the way, but kept using it in the show.
Right.
So yeah, that happened. So yeah, I thought that was that was crazy. That's what it took to stop Homelander. But back to Stormfront for a minute. So I pretty much think she'll be back because I think she can rejuvenate some type of way. Which again, I don't know all the powers and stuff like that. But you know,
because she's like 100 years old anyway.
And she might wind up like Darth Vader, you know, with an outfit or something like that.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure she can like rejuvenate herself because even when in the beginning, you remember when Homelander was had the eyes on her breasts, they healed up. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that happened. So we'll see about that. But yeah. So and then after that, we see the guy from the church and talking to the senator. And lets her know that he still got some information on Vought. He go to pop his lovely fresco that he loves so much, and his head pops and whatnot.
Right.
Now, did that scene shock you when it happened?
Yeah. Well, I'm a jumper. If you ask Sandy, I was like, "Oh, damn!" Yeah, they didn't see that coming.
That's hilarious. So, how about the fact that it was her who popped all the heads?
So we got to explain that. Oh man! So when they showed. She was the one behind it. Now, which was weird because they showed like her eyes turn white or something, like as if she was doing the powers. But they didn't. But clearly, they should have showed that when everybody here was blowing up popping the first time, and she was right there with blood on her face and all that. So, like, wait, what? What was the whole point of showing? I guess, like, I don't know. I didn't get that.
I'm gonna send you a video where they break down every part throughout the show where they kind of gave us.
Well, so here's what's funny. I seen the video and I felt like it was too much spoilers, so I didn't want to ruin it for you. But they talked about so much stuff in season 3. I was like, yo, this ain't. It's a spoiler video, but it was like if you didn't watch season 2, it talked about future stuff. But yeah, I watched a video that broke down when they first showed her on screen. They was hinting of who she was. Did you watch that video?
Maybe not now. I watched another one just about.
So there was a video that said when the head popping thing happened, they said, who's doing this? And the very next scene was the very first time they introduced her. The very next scene, it showed her.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is crazy. They hinted at that. But then when the head popping were happening and stuff like that, you see that she did look at the black dude in there when she popped his head.
Right.
And everywhere she looked, that's where all the heads popped at.
Here's what's cool though. They were slick by adding that other girl earlier in the season when she go like that and your head pretty much pop. So it made because remember we was even like, is it her? So that was smart to throw something else in there to get you away.
Yeah. Change my thing, whatever. And the dopest part that they did was remember when the heads were popping and the lady grabbed her to leave and she looks back and her assistant head pops, but she did it. And then she goes to check on her and sits there and pops more heads and stuff like that. So I thought that was dope too, or whatnot. But so apparently she has to look in your sight to be able to pop your head. And that's why she was like right outside the dude's window with the fresco and popped his head. So yeah, I don't know about the whole eye thing or what they got to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know what they should have left that out. But then Huey goes to her to get a job.
Yes, yeah, pretty much gets a job. Yeah, he's done with
Yeah,
the boys.
that's.
He wants to do it the right way, he said, without killing people and stuff like that. So he goes to her to get a job. So that's
And the boys all pretty much get hired by their old boss.
Right. Basically, and he's back working for her and stuff like that.
Right.
And MM goes back to his family for the first time, which is good.
Right.
Stuff. And then Frenchie and Kimiko, I guess, go out on a date or whatever they did. So I thought
yeah,
that was cool.
And they show that Homelander didn't keep Ryan, but he let Ryan go away with some people that's going to take care of him.
Right. Yeah, that too.
And they asked, like, do you think he's going to turn out like his father? And it's like, we'll see.
Yeah. And Starlight and Huey are officially in a relationship now. Stuff like that.
Yeah. So here's what I don't like. That didn't happen, but what I thought was going to happen. So she was like, he was like, yeah, you know what? I just think sometimes things is better left to go its own way. And she was like, oh, okay, well, I get it. I understand, about us. He was like, oh, I ain't talking about us. Oh, I ain't going nowhere. So because I don't like when shows you finally about to get together and then it's like, oh, I can't be with you now. Like that's what they did to me on Empire, the whole show. I want Cookie to be with Lucius. Then I wanted Lucius to be with Cookie. And when they finally about to work it out, one of them was like, no, because I'm too bad for you. So, but that was cool. So like you said, they are in a relationship, which was awesome.
Yes. Officially in a relationship now, which is awesome. But it's crazy because she's still with the 7, so it's kind of weird on that situation. But I guess he's not with the boys right now either. So the whole dynamic is crazy because the boys know about the 7, the 7 know about the boys,
right?
But they still live amongst each other and stuff like that.
Right. It's like they almost pieced it up for right now. So it's literally leaving it with this type of utopia feeling, right? The boys is cool with the 7, the 7's cool with the boys. Everybody's gonna live their own life and do their own thing. But we know it's still the head poppers out there. Now, here's the question. Do the boys and Vought both think the head popper was Stormfront?
No.
That's the thing.
I think Edgar knows who it is.
Okay. No, but I'm saying but what I'm saying is like, all right, let me not say Vought, but the boys and the 7. Like, do they feel like, 7, okay.
Yeah, the 7.
They're probably like, oh, yeah, they're probably like, okay, so I guess the head popper's gone. We don't have nothing to worry about. But then at the end, so it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's like the 7 is one thing, and then it's like Edgar. He knows, he knows more than that, right, and stuff like that. So I feel like that.
Well, I'm assuming when the new season start, now think about it, because the dude head did get popped. So when the new season start, they're going to go into it like, oh, wow, the head popper isn't still out there. It wasn't Stormfront.
It was a Stormfront. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, her powers are crazy. Like, I mean, I know I don't know if she got super strength or not, because they all do, but it's like
she probably do.
But the fact she can look at you and pop your head, I mean, she can pop Homelander's head if she wanted to, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty interesting.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm just hoping maybe Homelander is like because he's like Superman, kind of like super like dense, I guess, his body. Maybe she can't do that to him. I don't know.
Yeah, but you said something to me realize he's not Superman at all. I mean, he's Superman in theory, but not, because the episode with the plane, when I think about it, the whole thing was we can't save them all because too many people. But Superman could have lifted the whole plane and landed it. You know what I mean?
That's right. I mean, look at the one with Brandon. What was his name? Brandon. The guy who played. Yeah, he literally in that his version of that scene, he stopped the plane before it hit the ground and held it, and then put the plane down.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, like, that tells me Homelander, I guess he's trying to make it, but he's really not Superman level.
Right. He's really not on that level. Yeah.
No. He's super strong, human-wise. But like I said, Superman would have just said, all right, I'll carry the plane. Like, you know what I mean? He's at a whole different type of level. Or even the Hulk or whatever. They're like different.
Well, I will say this, though. It was pretty epic in that scene when Superman saved that plane. And it wasn't that easy. Like, he had to hold it and all that. Maybe Homelander's just more of an a-hole. It's like, I ain't got time to be trying to do all this. I'm out.
It could be, but for some reason I don't feel like he's as strong as Superman is for some reason.
I agree.
That's what I'm learning. But anyway, so man, we were both wrong about the predictions.
Yes, we was.
Becca still died, and I feel like
a prominent character did die.
And she had to die because Butcher is a part of the show, and they want the show to go for 5 seasons, I read. So what happens? Becca and Butcher went off somewhere. It doesn't work.
Right.
Butcher's the main character. So really, she had to die, and we're done with the story of him, chasing her or looking for her and whatnot. So I feel like this episode here, like, will take to the next chapter of The Boys because they kind of close.
I agree. It was almost like a reset. It was almost like a reset because the whole story was them following him on his journey to get revenge for whoever killed his wife. / is she still out there? Right. So now it's like, okay, it's a clean slate. Like now would it be like at the same time they're trying to take down Vought, right? But now it's like a clean slate. Like his reasons behind who his character was on the show can now be different.
Right. Clean slate. Huey's working a regular job now. It's like a whole different thing now. I feel like so we're gonna see where it goes from here, and whatnot. But
and not for nothing, I almost like sometimes it's hard when you follow a show and like the heroes are always on the run. They can't see their family. That sucks sometimes, So I like the fact that they was able to reset that, and now you will get to see like Mother's Milk with his daughters. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like the other dynamics of people having a family,
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. Like, if he has to go on a run again, and like we'll make him do that and stuff like that. So I think
he probably won't be on a run, but he'll have to like sneak out, lie to his wife, and when he's doing stuff. Remember, he did that in the very beginning of season 1 when he was out helping them. He was making up stories on where he was at.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of questions. What happens to Stormfront? Is Black Noir going to be okay? Like you said about the head popper, what happens with that?
Right.
There's just a lot of questions, but it's good for the next season. So I love it.
And then the question is, what they got in the wing of the show, they could always pull out the hat is Ryan.
Yeah.
They could do a lot of things with him.
And it's not a spoiler because they've said it 100 times that next season they got this the Captain America type character coming on the show and whatnot. Forget his name.
I will say this: I never heard that ever on the show, but I did with the video I watched. They kind of showed it. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to know that." Like I felt like I didn't. I would have liked to go into it, and I like who they got playing him too, which is cool.
Oh, so, okay, you know him. I don't even know him that well. Okay, so
he's from Supernatural.
Yeah, I never watched Supernatural, so
okay,
good?
Yeah, it's one of the it was pretty good. He's one of the main characters.
Gotcha.
Him and his brother. It's all about him and his brother. Yeah.
Well, the guy who makes this show directs Supernatural too. That's why
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this episode. Let's start with this episode. How would you grade this episode, the finale? What's up?
You know what? Sometimes other things make things better. The fact that I thought episode 6 and 7 it was no way this could be better than that, and for me it was. That's gonna give this like a 9. You know what I'm saying? Like this gets a 9 for me. This is a solid 9. It was a really good season finale. Like I'm giving it a 9.
I think it had a mix of everything, even a little comedy, which the boys don't always have, like the parts where Frenchie was smiling to meet Becca and stuff like that. I thought that was
that was awesome.
right. I thought that was great. I thought that the action was great, of course, and the fight scenes and some of the explosions and everything else was good. And I also thought that the drama was good, man. It was some good acting, man. That, like I said, the Homelander speeches with his son, the part where Becca died, man. I thought that was great acting by Butcher. I thought it was great. So I might, you know what? I don't see a flaw in the episode. So I would probably give it the episode itself. I would give it 10, bro. So.
Yeah, I can't give it a 10 because I just don't like. Stormfront's personality. That just bothers me. And it's never like they took it back. She still was like a kiss up to Homelander. I'm like they switched her character. Her character was such a swerve that bothered me. Maeve, the way they stopped Homelander was a plus and a minus because you could have been did that. Like, I don't know. That still kind of don't sit well with me. So those two things. If I had the fact that I have just a few complaints, not big, but I can't give it a 10 if I still got a complaint. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't give it a 10, and I kind of.
So your thought was that like you like the more powerful, strong Stormfront.
Not even that. I like the trash talking, too tough. Like she didn't care. She's in Vought talking about like these are all suck ups. Y'all all sellouts. Like I'm like, yo, she see Homelander like, and what? What? Like you mad because I did your job for you? I'm like, yo, she don't care. Now she's like, oh, sorry, Homelander. Yeah, like, come on, man. Your whole character changed. What, you're in a relationship? So now you don't have your actual personality? Like they wrote out her original character too hard. You know what I mean? It was like a hard curve. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, all right, I get it. And then maybe she could have said something like, you know, I grew up and I felt like the world was against me, but you kind of changed me and make me calm down or something. Like, give me some speech to be like, okay, cool. And on top of that, I liked her personality though, right? So for me, it's a decline because I was like, dude, like when she was talking to Starlight in the Vought, right? And Starlight knows like, yo, people could be listening. She was like, and what are they gonna do to me? I'm like, yo, she's a G. Yeah, that's not. They totally took that part of her away. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't like that. You know, it's writing. It's like that's part of her personality. So they just totally stripped that out. They could have little pieces of that, but it's like her character wasn't like that anymore. She was so like the girl in the relationship, Homelander's girlfriend. You know?
Got you.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I admired that part of her. Like, you know, yeah.
All right. So now let's rate, I guess, the season and also how do you compare it to season 1 and whatnot?
Okay, so when the season started, I was like, nowhere is it as good as the first season, right? They had some really dry episodes, right? Then they had the one episode where he fought on top of the roof and Kimiko brother died. So we both agreed that was like the best episode in the first really good episode, right? Then it was going downhill. We agreed that episode 6 and 7 made like whoa, but how can episode 8 be better? And it was, right? So all the roller coaster ride was like great. Season 1 started off with the, you know, running through Huey, A-Train running through Huey's girlfriend. You can't get that scene out of your mind, right? It's like a Final Destination scene. Maybe because it's been a while since I watched the first season, that the second season is more relevant in my mind. And I didn't think I could say this because of the last 3 episodes being so good and so trivial. It's crazy to say this, but I think season 2 might have took a hit by a little bit. Like what happened at the end of season 1? I don't even remember.
They had that they were I guess in that little warehouse, and that's where I think A-Train had the heart attack at, and they were fighting him. I think it was Starlight again at that point.
Right, and Huey helped him. Huey gave him like the thing or whatever, so he didn't have a heart attack or whatever.
Yeah, that's when that's when Butcher was with at the house with Homelander. He was about to kill him.
And he seen his wife alive. Yeah.
Yeah. And the house blew up and stuff like that. So that was the end of that. So they're both good finales, actually, when I think about it. But you know.
Yeah. So you tell me.
I'm with you because the last 3 were so good. There was like a return. It was crazy. The first 3 were good. I mean, they put out the first 3 at the first time, and they were good. Right. And they ended with the Kimiko's brother, like you said. And then the middle had some lulls in it. Yeah. And then the last 3 were good and whatnot. So I think that this one showed more Soups fighting, which I like. Right. Even that whole thing in the last finale with Homelander and Butcher, you still didn't see all the Soups fighting. And I feel like, and I don't even remember what Mother's Milk and Frenchie were doing at the time. So that's how I know it's not really memorable or whatever like that. Where in this one, everybody was there. So I kind of like that too. Right,
yeah. And then the whole thing that Maeve, like that was like the, whoa, you know, you had the, what are they going to do? And then Boom, you know?
And that too, I feel like I haven't seen May fight the whole series so I was
Right.
happy to finally see that stuff like that.
Right.
And Starlight used more of her powers, so I thought it was good. So I'm gonna say one was great though, like you said, the whole getting the boys together, and they had some great episodes in that too. One was more, you know what it is? One was more like steady.
Yes.
Two was like you on that roller coaster.
Yes.
But
yeah.
At the end, that roller coaster took it over the top.
And you know what's funny? I'm gonna say I don't think the writing was that smart. I don't think they intentionally made some episodes they just thought you wasn't gonna like, but I think that made the show even better. The fact, again, I love an underdog story. When it started to dip, it was like, there's no way this is gonna end up surpassing the first season, right? But when it dipped and went down, when it came up, it didn't go down, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So with that, I would say it does edge out, one by just that much or whatever.
Yeah.
It does. And I would give this whole season, I will probably give it a grade because of the lulls. I'm gonna say of an 8. I would grade the season.
Yeah, I'm going exactly with you. I'm giving it an 8. Yeah. The good episodes really made up for it, but it would have been so much better if it was more like the first one where all the episodes was pretty good. Now, this just happened to have some episodes that was a lot better than the first season episodes,
Yes.
But they did have some dips. And so, yeah, for that, you get an 8.
But it definitely got me ready for season 3, like already, man. So I'm excited again. I think next time, though, I'm going to try to watch 2 or maybe 1 again until 3 starts. That way it's still in my head or whatever like that. I think I'm going to do that next time. Next time.
I will. I agree. And I hope next time, I might even do it. I'll try. But if they do 3 episodes, I might just be like, nope, I'm not watching all 3 straight to back to back.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Like I can't believe. I feel like the show just came on like a couple weeks ago and it's over. That's crazy, right?
But that's why, because you had 3 at once or whatever like that. Right. So yeah, I feel like it's like pick a lane. You're either going to be a whole Ben series or you're going to do all of them one by one by one.
Yeah,
you're like half to half. You're like half Ben and half.
Right. Maybe they was testing the waters. Maybe somehow they was testing the waters. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I feel like anything in life, I feel like pick a lane, either do one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Don't do both, because now it's like even worse. Because now I feel like you gave me 3, and then I wanted more, but then you gave me 1 by 1, but it was over. So it's like you said, it started, and now it's done. So, but. That's it, man. I don't want to keep you guys, It's been but we're done, man. We're whole season of The Boys. Of course, we'll be back reviewing more stuff that we find, movies, TV. You got some suggestions, let us know. Stuff like that. But hopefully you like it. Remember, there was a spoiler discussion. So, we appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Second everything Mike just said, and just stay tuned because we got more stuff coming. So we will be doing episode Big Mike and Little Ant. Where are we going to? Episode 16, I believe, the next
16.
Episode. Or is it 17?
I'm not sure, but just let you know, it will definitely be out next week. I'm going to try to talk to this guy about his weekend schedule. He's a busy man, but we'll try to talk to this guy and get it out. Like that.
All right, and then don't forget that Beyond the Trenches, episode
5. 5?
Wow.
Yeah, 5. I know it's coming fast, right? I know. Crazy. Episode 5 should be out by Thursday. I'll do it tomorrow, so it should be out by Thursday, actually, as well. So, all right, well, for that, I'm Big Mike.
And I'm Little Ant. Out.